You know, I don't have time to update that. We're about to play a Discord server armor event. It's like right now 8:15 or 8:30 or 8:45. It starts at 9 o'clock. Our Discord server has been awesome. I'm just going to say, I want to highlight the Discord server. The Kitchen Table TCG community has been awesome. Can't wait to play tonight. But I had this thought today of like, what are the prices of cold foils going to end up at from Monarch? Like, we just saw the first common cold foil commons. We assume they'll be in cold foil, right? Who knows? They might not actually be in cold foil. The other cold foils so far that we've seen are like we are assuming the legendaries are cold foil too. We're all assuming things right now. I'm assuming that the commons, the majestic, all the equipment are going to be in cold foil. However, the legendaries are potentially also going to be in cold foil, and those aren't equipment. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. This video is going to assume that the cold foil equipment and the majestic equipment come in cold foil commons or come in cold foil majestics. So I want to know from you, and I want to focus on cold foil commons and cold foil majestics, but I want to know from the comment section, where do you think that prices are going to land on release week of these like Monarch kind of go-to cards? Because it's interesting when you think of the box prices of $500 right now. Like right now, people are spending $500 on a box. And historically, we don't ever see cards lose value. So my gut that's going to happen is that within the first week, we might see some depreciation. Depreciation is probably some stupid word. Anyway, depreciation of value of the cold foil stuff, of all the cards. They might start out high and dip down. But really my guess is that we start to see an upwards trajectory pretty quick, as we see in Flesh and Blood, like this upwards trajectory of cards. And so it really asks this question of like, if the price point for some people, or a decent number of people, which it seems like it is, like if box prices are selling out so quickly at the $400 to $500 mark, that seems like a good chunk of people are spending $400 to $500 on boxes. And the whales that got in at $100 aren't dumb enough to like lower their prices. So like, I'm like, my gut says that like you can take a look at like what were the prices of Crucible of War cards, the Crucible of War rare, cold foil rares, the Crucible of War cold foil majestics. What were the price of the Crucible of War cards when Crucible of War was $500 a box? And like when you do that, it like lines up some interesting data, and it lines up some things that like seem like out of the gate prices are going to be kind of high. So like when Crew was like $500 a box, if I'm remembering right, I don't have the data in front of me, but when Crew was like $500, like a majestic cold foil was sitting in like the $200 to $300 range. Recently the majestic cold foils have been shooting up to like the $600 range. But box prices have been at $1,000 or $1,100 or $1,200. I think today they're at $1,400, but I have no clue what the majestics are right now. I haven't done my market update yet. So here's my gut. This is like where I'm landing. And I put out I put out a post today that was like, hey, I will pre-buy your cold foil commons from Monarch for $75. Because here's the thing, like, I don't think that there's any way. I don't want to like, I just like, what are you selling these at? If you're spending $500 on a box, you're telling me you're going to open your cold foil and be like, yeah, I'll take $75 for that. Why? Like, why would you do that? Like, nobody is going into this. I hope not. Like, for your sake. And like, here's the thing. Like, I wish cold foil commons were $20. If cold foil commons were $20 again, I would snatch up every single cold foil common I could get. I would sell lots of things in order to snatch up every cold foil common I could get at $20. Like, come on. Who thinks that? Don't be ridiculous. People are spending $500 on a box, and you think people are going to open their box, not hit a good cold foil, and be like, all right, I'll take $20 for it. All right. I'll take $50 for it. There's no way. Like, I'm sorry. There's just no way. We are seeing cold foil commons right now selling from WTR Alpha, from all the sets, right? We're seeing cold foil commons selling at the $400, $500, $600 mark. So I guess it comes back to, what do you think the print run? I mean, it's taken 2 years, right? It's taken a year and a half, 2 years for those cold foils to get to the prices that they are now. I get it. You can tell me that all you want. But like, at what point are you selling and why? And so as much as I want you to sell me your cold foils cheap, because I've told you, I have been very honest that the first week of Monarch, I will be buying cards. I've been very forefront for that. Because I think it's the best time to buy, honestly. I do. But like, I don't want you to miss out on the idea of being smart with your money. And your smartness with your money is not taking a gamble on a $500. Everyone here who's opening boxes, every time you open a box, you're taking a gamble at hitting the whatever the fabled ends up being. And you're taking the gamble at hitting the fabled, but like, does that mean you're just going to sell out and take the loss if you don't hit it? Because in my mind, it's like, if I spent $400 on a box and I open a cold foil common, I'm like, all right, I'll just hang on to the cold foil common until it's worth $400, and then maybe I'll take my money back, right? And like in the history of Flesh and Blood, we see that. Like, we see that movement of the cards. So as much as I'd like to be like, hey, everybody, your gold foils aren't worth anything, if they're not the legendary, if they're not the, like, and what if we don't get a legendary equipment? I'm calling it right now. This is like still, like, today is whatever. We haven't seen anything. We're not going to get legendary cold foils. I think all the legendaries are going to be spells or like instants or whatever. Like, that's my opinion based on what we've seen. So like, what does that do to the set? Like, it kind of confuses us because now all of a sudden the cold foil Majestics, again, assuming that we get them, assuming we get cold foil comes, assuming they don't do something weird and change it up, right? Assuming all that, it kind of makes this kind of thought of like, where is the line? And at what point do you tap out? Like, at what point, and people already comment on the post like following or whatever, because everyone's interested in this. Like, they're interested on where is this bottom line for some of these cards. In my mind, like, I think $75, like, that's my line. Like, that's when I start buying, is like, that's like where I wouldn't sell. Like, I buy all the way up to that. But like today, right now, that's where I would start buying. It's like $75. I don't know. I don't know if it's wrong. I'm curious what you think. Like, I'm curious, where do you see these cards landing? Like, the majestic rainbow foils, right? The majestic rainbow foils right now. Crucible of War, majestic rainbow foils before the announcement of Monarch, before the spikes and the spec cards. The highest one was $100. Where are you putting your majestic rainbow foils at? Where are you putting your cold foil rares or commons, right? It seems like we're definitely getting cold foil commons. It seems like we're definitely getting cold foil majestics based on the spoilers. Where are you putting those? Based on Crucible, your cold foil rares are sitting at $175. What are you doing with those? I don't know. I'm curious. My gut says cold foil commons, $50 to $75 out the gate. My gut says that the legendaries, phew, I don't know. Like, I just don't know. Like, 1 in 4 boxes, if that's the rate, if boxes are selling at $400 to $500, whew, I don't know. $500, $600. Like, that's what, like, at least $700, $800, probably $800. Right? That's where the legendaries land. I don't know. I have no clue, because apparently it's just like nobody's going to understand how many boxes there are and what the print run is compared to Crucible or compared to WTR. And so it's just going to create this really interesting thing. So I want to know, prior to cards coming out, like, you open a $500 box, this box that you could have sold, maybe you spent $100, maybe you spent whatever, you could have sold this box for $500. You open a cold foil common. What are you selling that for? I'm curious. You don't want it. What are you selling it for? I think we need to start doing some research and understanding where you are in the market as a viewer, as a person in the marketplace. I'm curious, because I don't know where I am. I don't know where I sell. I know I don't sell cold foils, though. Hey, hope you are enjoying spoiler season. Be kind to the people around you, and we'll see you tomorrow.